Hey folks, Gary here. Happy Monday morning to you. I hope you're having a really good start to your week. Although weeks can be hard sometimes. Sometimes you could be facing a lot of trouble in your life. Things can come into your life, and when that happens, that can be quite unnerving. We could actually face a lot of fear when things go really, really badly. So I hope that's not the case. I hope you're going to have a really good week, but we know that bad times can happen too. So what do we do when that takes place? Well, for this week, for the videos, I want to talk about fear and I want to talk about faith and what happens when they collide together. Actually, that's going to be the sermon on Sunday. Sunday, the sermon is going to be what happens when rational fear, sorry. What happens when rational fear, like the world would say, yeah, you should be afraid of that. When rational fear meets up with irrational faith. In other words, the world would say, are you crazy? This is really bad. Why do you have this faith? Why do you have this trust? Well, it's because we know Jesus and we trust him. So what happens when the two things meet? Well, what happens is this. What faith that looks irrational is actually very, very rational because it's based on God, it's based on Jesus, and that fear becomes irrational. It's like, what were you doing here? Fear not, right? And so we're going to look at that on Sunday, and today what I want to look at is Lamentations. So Lamentations chapter 3. Now, Lamentations probably is written by Jeremiah, and Jeremiah is talking about how Jerusalem is just being destroyed. Israel's being destroyed. Judah's being destroyed. Why? Well, because they have been so incredibly cruel with each other, and God is saying, I can't have this anymore. And so God brings his enemies in and they conquer. And of course, they go into exile and they go into exile so God can purify them again. So God can get that garbage out of their lives and then bring them back. And so everything they're facing because they brought it on themselves. The old saying, you reap what you sow, and this is taking place. And so Jeremiah is seeing that, but it doesn't mean he's enjoying it, right? He knows what's happening, but there's fear in this, and he's calling out to God. And if we read through Lamentations chapter 3, actually all Lamentations, go, wow, I'd be a wreck if that was my life. But Jeremiah calls out to God. We think it's Jeremiah. And so I want to pick it up in verse 55 to 57. And this is what Jeremiah prays. But I called on your name, Lord, from deep within the pit. Things are really bad, right? And you heard me when I cried. So he cries out to God. What happens? God hears him because God always hears our prayers. So you heard me when I cried. Listen to my pleading. Hear my cry for help. And what happened? Yes, you came when I called. God never leaves us. God never abandons us, right, Cole? You can't see Cole. Cole's down here. God never leaves us. God never abandons us. When we call on him, he is there. Actually, he's always there. And when you call on the name of Jesus, you just become aware of his presence. That was always there in the first place. I called and you came when I called. You came when I called. You told me, do not fear. And God says that to us too. Do not fear. You might be going through something hard and you might go through something that's kind of scary, but God says, do not fear. I'm with you through this. I have a plan through this. I got a way. I'm making a way for you through this. Don't fear. Trust that I'm here. And we should do that. We should trust that Jesus is present with us no matter what we're going through. No matter how hard it is, Jesus is going through it with you. And that makes all the difference in the world. And we're going to look at that later on this week as well. So no matter what you face, trust that God's with you. And if it's really good, trust that God's with you. Basically, trust that Jesus is with you no matter what's going on. And it makes your life just that much better. So have a great Monday. We'll catch you tomorrow.